planning for a challenging year ahead. The struggles Saskatchewan farmers are facing this spring. Intensive care in Saskatoon about to expand. What additional beds will mean for patient care. And more bumps in the road for a group of delivery drivers in Saskatoon. Will calls for better working conditions be answered?
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. It could be a challenging year for farmers in Saskatchewan. Cold weather delayed the start of spring seeding, and there are significant increases to fuel and fertilizer prices. The provincial government says it's too early to tell what kind of impact that will have. Wayne Mantika has more.
It's a late start to spring seeding on the Shikowski family farm outside Regina. They are about 10 days behind schedule.
We started Friday. We got spraying on Thursday, got ahead on spraying, and then started Friday, and it's been a good start.
Farmers are facing added uncertainty this year with higher than anticipated fuel costs.
Yeah, we're feeling the fuel, but in retrospect, fuel's a small part, but every bit counts.
The cost of land and machinery is a bigger issue for many.
Other big farms coming in and driving up rent and land prices, and family farms have to compete somehow, so we kind of got to pony up.
Last year produced a record crop in Saskatchewan, with the province hoping for a repeat this year.
If we get some pretty good heat, get that crop established, it can develop a lot in a short period of time.
The NDP believe a conversation is needed with producers about special challenges being faced.
It should be done in an urgent way, and we should be hearing from producers and their organizations now, and we clearly need some actions that are in the interests of producers and this industry.
Farmers say a lot can happen between now and when the crop is in the bin, but with plenty of moisture in the ground in this region, growing season is off to a strong start. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, near Regina.
Meanwhile, it doesn't appear rising waters in northern Saskatchewan will be going away anytime soon.
With the temperatures and the overnight kind of lows above zero right now, we're seeing pretty steady snowmelt. The one thing that might change that is rain. When we get rain and snow, it does make that snowmelt a little bit more rapid. So we're watching those conditions closely.
The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency adds 18 communities are under a local state of emergency. That is down from the more than 30 communities yesterday. Highways also continue to be largely impacted as the ministry has already put up 3 temporary bridges to service collapses across the province. High levels of water have caused a northern Saskatchewan bridge to collapse, resulting in a pause to mining activity in the area. Last night, Cameco announced it would pause production activities at its Key Lake Mill and McArthur River mine due to flooding. Last week, the Smoothstone River Bridge collapsed. It's the main route used to transport supplies and people to and from the mine sites. The company says alternate routes have restrictions in place. Cameco says the Cigar Lake mine continues to operate, but depending on the length of the pause, the 2026 production outlook for the McArthur River Key Lake operation may be impacted.
There was a bridge collapse there, and it was due to flooding, numerous culverts being damaged by ice jams and things of that nature, and a temporary bridge is being put in place there.
And it looks like more rain is in the forecast, Jeff. We saw a little shower this afternoon, in fact.
Yeah, we had a little something slide on through. A more significant amount of rain in parts of Manitoba, but certainly Saskatchewan was not immune to rain today. More significant rain is in the forecast for later in the week, but before then we are getting a significant warm-up. So this system moves out of the way, and some of that warmer air sets up for at least a couple of days, and then things start to change. We'll talk about those changes a little later on.
This week marks the beginning of an expansion project at RUH, which is set to create more beds and a need for more staff. Hallie Mandrick on what it means for patient care.
This space in Saskatoon's Royal University Hospital will soon house an additional 7 intensive care unit beds, bringing the total number from 19 to 26 in the hospital.
There has been a significant effort, specifically in Saskatoon, in ensuring that the 3 tertiary buildings that we have here between St. Paul's City Hospital and Royal University Hospital, that we are using those spaces as efficiently as possible.
The $17 million upgrade will be completed in 2 phases over 2 years. The first year will see the addition of 7 beds, followed by a year of upgrading the 19 pre-existing ICU beds.
And it will ultimately result in 2 subunits, each 13 beds to make the 26. So we'll create this space for the first 13-bed subunit, and then that'll allow us to do the renovations to create the second 13-bed subunit.
These additional beds will create the need for additional staff, which is cause for concern among the Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. The president of SUN shared a statement with CTV News saying, quote, "To date, SUN has not been made aware of corresponding additions to ICU nursing staff to support this expansion, raising important questions about how these new beds will be safely staffed," adding that this investment will only succeed with strong recruitment, retention, and safe staffing measures. Cockrell says the province recently realigned the roles of both the SHA and the Saskatchewan Healthcare Recruitment Agency, which is intended to help combat staffing issues.
There's so much opportunity in the healthcare sector to serve folks in this province. We've added those training seats. We've made sure that there's incentives in place. I'm confident that we're going to get to an agreement with our union partners in this province that will adequately, I think that will properly really represent the government's view on how important those folks are in our healthcare system.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A 25-year-old man has died after what officials are calling a bear encounter in northern Saskatchewan. The Ministry of Community Safety says it happened near a remote airstrip near Points North Friday evening at about 6:30. The ministry says the bear was euthanized at the scene and then taken to the Western College of Veterinary Medicine in Saskatoon. The Conservation Officer Service and Wildlife Human Attack Response Team are investigating. Points North is about 700 kilometers northeast of Saskatoon. Turning now to Court of King's Bench, where jury selection got underway today for the trial of a woman charged in connection with a 2024 Saskatoon homicide. CTV's Laura Woodward has the latest.
35-year-old Chantel McLaren enters the Court of King's Bench for the first day of her trial. She's charged with accessory after the fact to murder and offering an indignity to human remains. The charges stem from the death of 25-year-old Lee Perkins of Alberta. On February 3rd, 2024, Saskatoon police were executing a search warrant at a home on Lisgar Avenue when they found Perkins' body. Police say Eden Vrazalika tried to run away and was shot by an officer. He was later charged with first-degree murder and offering an indignity to human remains. A third accused, Dylan Singler, pleaded guilty to manslaughter. A publication ban is in place on all evidence presented at McLaren's proceedings to protect the fairness of Vrazalika's trial, scheduled to begin in November. McLaren has been out on bail since May 2024. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon police say they have identified a man whose body was found in the South Saskatchewan River. The body was found on May 1st near Sturgeon Drive and Spadina Crescent East. Police say the man was not reported missing and his death is not considered suspicious. His name is not being released, but his family has been notified. Police and community organizations are coming together to support victims and survivors of crime. The Saskatoon Police Service and Family Service Saskatoon are teaming up to proclaim the start of Victims and Survivors of Crime Week. Members of the public gathered at Saskatoon Police Headquarters to kick off the week and recognize the importance of community support.
Hopefully it might help eventually prevent, but it's also really important for those who have been impacted by violence to be aware that there are services and supports in their communities across Canada.
A lot of times when people are victimized, they don't know where to go, where to turn. They don't know what their rights are. They don't know what their supports are. And so having individuals who are doing this type of work that can bring comfort and education and support, it's worth everything.
Family Service Saskatoon offers support for people affected by violence, especially domestic and interpersonal violence. Delivery drivers for Dragonfly Shipping say dozens of workers were laid off after walking off the job in Saskatoon on Friday. Now the labor critic is calling on the province to investigate the workers' allegations. CTV's Stacey Hine has an update on the story.
Delivery drivers for Dragonfly have picketed outside the company's warehouse since Friday, but drivers say about half of the 120 people who walked off the job have been fired.
I have been fired, yeah. On the same day, without any notice, I have been fired. Like, many of my friends got fired on the same day, yeah.
Dragonfly is a major third-party delivery partner for Amazon in Canada, and drivers say as independent contractors, they're paid per package, cover their own vehicle and fuel costs, and have seen pay drop over the last several months.
We've been in a point where we can't afford to work for this rate.
Drivers also allege they're expected to drive in dangerous winter conditions and often don't have time for washroom breaks because of tight delivery schedules.
And we need solution, we need respect. That's only our demand is. We are happy to go back and work.
NDP labor critic Nathaniel Teed is calling for an investigation into the driver's allegations.
These workers also say that if a package goes missing, if a customer complains, or if they turn down a shift, they face financial penalties or terminations. This is not dignity at work.
Labor Minister Ken Cheveldayoff says he's aware of the driver's concerns.
I'm very concerned when there's an allegation of any aspects of a workplace being unsafe. So I would encourage the members of those groups to contact Occupational Health and Safety.
In a statement to CTV News, Dragonfly said deliveries are handled by independent delivery companies responsible for their own drivers, including pay and employment practices. The company adds its delivery network has allowed operations to continue since Friday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government is firing back after Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck called the cost of its coal refurbishment plan staggering. Today, the NDP doubling down, saying the $26 billion that it will cost over the next 25 years to extend the life of the province's coal plants is simply too expensive. The government responding that the cost is actually $2.6 billion with the NDP, including capital maintenance and operating costs. The Minister of Crown Corporations, Jeremy Harrison, also says it is necessary to transition to nuclear energy.
Our bridge to nuclear power generation is to life extend and repower our existing thermal coal fleet. And we've been very clear about that all the way along. That's the central discussion that's occurring right now, because the opposition position is that we should immediately shut down our existing thermal coal fleet.
Harrison going on to say that the government's plan makes sense from an energy security, reliability, and affordability standpoint. The anticipation is building in Prince Albert, with the Raiders earning a split to start the WHL Championship Series as it heads back to PA for the rest of the week. Keenan Sorokon has more on the Raiders' chase for a league title.
The Western Hockey League final is coming back to Prince Albert as an even series. The Everett Silvertips and Prince Albert Raiders exchanged blows over the weekend, with the long-anticipated matchup between season-long heavyweights living up to the billing.
Loose in front for Hanta. Tremendous defensive effort and a goal.
The Raiders got the better of the Silvertips to start the series on Friday with a 4-2 win at Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett, thanks to this nifty pass from Braden Coots to get the Raiders on the board before potting a power play goal of his own in the second period to give the Raiders a 2-1 lead, before Mikhail Orshilak locked down the potent Silvertips attack with a 39-save performance to seal the win. But Everett wasn't going to get caught off guard twice. Julius Miettinen wouldn't be outdone by Coots. After scoring a goal in Game 1, he followed that up with a goal and 3 assists to power his team to a 6-2 win over the Raiders. PA was able to throw plenty more shots at Everett goaltender Anders Miller, but an empty netter and a last-second goal evened up the series as it shifts back to the Art Hauser Center for the rest of the week. Because of the long travel, Games 3, 4, and 5 will be at the Art Hauser Center starting on Tuesday night. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Greenhouses across Saskatoon had one of their busiest weekends of the season. The owner of Dutch Growers says staff spend months preparing for Mother's Day weekend. It's often busy thanks to the occasion and because many are starting their gardens at this time of year. Many families also say heading to the greenhouse has become a Mother's Day tradition.
For some people, it's nostalgic. It's a tradition that they've always done with their mom. They've always come and strolled the aisles, picked up a Mother's Day arrangement or basket. For others, it's just maybe a planting hobby that mom likes to do, and so everybody has to come along with her and join in and be with her and spend some time with her on Mother's Day.
If you did some plant shopping over the weekend, you're advised to wait until overnight temperatures stay above -5 before planting your garden. Still to come, the latest on the Canadians impacted by Hanta virus. Also, a dramatic crash in BC that left a motorcycle dangling. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. A man from Ohio has been charged with luring a Manitoba child online. He's accused of grooming the 10-year-old girl on social media and convincing her to send sexually explicit photos. Alex Karpa has the details.
A 32-year-old Ohio man is facing charges after allegedly grooming a 10-year-old Manitoba girl online and convincing her to send sexually explicit images and videos. Investigators say Courtney Arden Wise III posed as a teenager and communicated first with the girl through social media before shifting to direct text messages.
This incident was a terrible reminder of the dangers that lurk on the internet, especially for children and teenagers.
Wise III was arrested in February in Ohio, where police seized electronic devices allegedly containing the messages exchanged with the girl. He's facing several charges, including sexual exploitation of a child.
We encourage parents and caregivers to educate their children on how to stay safe online.
Lindsay Lobb with the Canadian Centre for Child Protection says the organization receives similar reports to this case every day through their national tip line on cybertip.ca. She said reports related to the online luring have risen from 750 reports in 2020 to more than 3,300 this past year.
What we know is that much of this is attributed to adults being allowed to intersect with children in largely unregulated spaces.
Tech experts say parents should always know what tools or platforms their children are using.
And that doesn't just include classic tools like social media apps and artificial intelligence. Increasingly, it can also include gaming platforms or even music platforms that incorporate social media features into them.
U.S. investigators believe the suspect may have targeted other children, and the investigation is still ongoing. RCMP did confirm that Wise III is not facing any charges here in Canada. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Precautionary measures are in place with all Canadian passengers who were on board a cruise ship and affected by a deadly outbreak of the Hanta virus, now home and isolating. Those possibly exposed on international flights are also being monitored. None are infected. Here is Heather Wright with the latest.
Most of the roughly 130 passengers aboard the MV Hondius have returned home or are in the process of getting there, including 4 Canadians who arrived in British Columbia after being flown from the Canary Islands on Sunday.
All 4 were and continue to be well and have no symptoms.
BC's top doctor Bonnie Henry says while strict isolation protocols were put in place aboard the cruise ship in early May, 2 passengers, an American and a French national, have tested positive for the virus since returning home, reinforcing the need for strict public health protocols during the incubation period.
We are all hoping that the 4 people who are here with us will remain well through this incubation period, but this is exactly why we are taking the precautions and why plans are in place should their conditions change.
Henry says the quarantine clock for the 4 Canadians started yesterday. They will quarantine for 21 days and be monitored for 42, the longest known incubation period for the virus, a rare rodent-borne pathogen that can cause serious illness in humans. 3 people have died since the deadly outbreak began aboard the Hondias, with at least 7 confirmed cases and 2 reported cases. More than 20 countries are now working to contain the spread of the virus, including Canada, where at least 10 people are being monitored. Today, Ontario's Minister of Health confirmed a 3rd person is now self-isolating in the province.
We have not seen any indication that they were in close contact and would become symptomatic.
Today, the ship's captain released a video praising the resolve of the passengers and the crew.
And I must commend my crew for their courage and their selfless resolve that they showed time and again in the most difficult moments.
And in a sign of just how quickly things can change, the World Health Organization says the French passenger who began experiencing symptoms on the flight back home is now in hospital in critical condition. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Saskatchewan's chief medical health officer says the province's general risk when it comes to Hanta virus remains low. The strain that caused the outbreak on the cruise ship is different from the one occasionally found here.
You see anywhere from 0 to 1 or 2 cases a year, but they can be serious and life-threatening. But the type we see in Saskatchewan does not transmit from person to person. It transmits from rodents to humans, and so people are at risk if they are exposed to deer mice, their droppings, or nesting materials.
Known as the Andy strain, Dr. Shahab said health officials are not aware of any passengers or contacts related to the cruise ship in Saskatchewan. While the risk is low, Dr. Shahab encourages caution when cleaning cottages, cabins, or sheds where rodents might be present by ventilating the space 30 minutes or more before you start cleaning and using wet cleaning methods like mopping. In smaller spaces where ventilation is not possible, Dr. Shahab says goggles and an N95 mask should be used. The U.S. has issued new Iran-related sanctions. The punitive measures were announced hours after U.S. President Donald Trump suggested the ceasefire is hanging on by a thread following Tehran's latest peace proposal.
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest. Right now, it's on life support.
Iran wants sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, an end to the American naval blockade, compensation for war damage, and a guarantee of no further attacks, among other demands. The U.S. had proposed an end to fighting before starting talks on more contentious issues, such as Tehran's nuclear program. The man accused of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump last month has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say Cole Thomas Allen wounded a U.S. Secret Service agent while trying to run through a security checkpoint at the hotel where the April 25th gala took place. The defense has asked for senior Justice Department officials to be disqualified from the case. Allen's lawyers argue there is a conflict of interest because the officials were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro says her ability to prosecute the case has nothing to do with her being there. Now to a crash in BC that is hard to believe. This is a motorbike dangling from a traffic light. On Saturday afternoon, police were called to a collision between a BMW and the motorcycle in Delta, south of Vancouver. Police spent the afternoon examining the scene, but are confident speed was a factor. The motorbike rider was seriously injured, but is expected to survive. The driver of the car was not hurt.
Director of the Acoustic Theory and Acapella Group here in Saskatoon. We have 2 shows coming up on May 17th at the Broadway Theatre. Get your tickets. We have a 2 o'clock and a 7 o'clock show. BroadwayTheatre.ca. See you there.
So, Jeff, how's the weather gonna be?
It's going to be not bad. It's not going to be as cold as it will be the days leading up to Sunday, but things are looking okay. A little on the cool side, but people will be warm inside the Broadway Theatre enjoying the music of Acoustic Theory. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on. So Sunday, 2 and 7, those are the show times. BroadwayTheatre.ca is where you can go for your tickets. 11 degrees for a daytime high, so that's still about 7 degrees below seasonal. Cloudy skies, but like I said, you'll be inside enjoying the music, so have a wonderful show. Now let's take a look at our numbers, and they're not bad for today, and tomorrow's looking pretty good too. 21 degrees right now in Saskatoon. Winds out of the north at 26. It's been a breezy day. 17 degrees is the temperature rather in Prince Albert at the moment, and 19 in the Battlefords. And look at that. That is a sustained wind of over almost 60 kilometers an hour. That's nasty. So yes, we've had some very windy conditions throughout our province. There's been wind warnings down in southern Saskatchewan. They're still in place. 21 degrees for a high in Saskatoon. 18 is typical for this time of year. 30, that was the record set back in 1993. The record cold temperature on the 11th, minus 11 from 1983. And the sun is going to go down at 8:48.
Coming up, a group of Saskatchewan musicians bringing unique songs to the province. From their garage to the first album, we meet a band sharing their culture through song.
All right, let's take a look through the big blue sky. And there's some fluffy clouds out there right now, but ultimately we've had ourselves a relatively pleasant day, but the wind has really started to pick up. As we mentioned, very windy up around the Battlefords, and there are wind warnings in effect for southeastern Saskatchewan. So right now things are looking not too badly. As you can see, as we take a look at what's going on with our the satellite and radar shot here, the biggest, the nastiest part of this system has moved into Manitoba and now making its way into parts of northern Ontario. But on the backhand side, there's still some active weather there. That's going to move out of the way. High pressure is going to build in. We're going to see relatively dry conditions over the next 24 or 48 hours, and then things start to change. So right now, 21 degrees in Saskatoon, 17 in Prince Albert, and we've got some rain. The wind has backed off, but there's some rain in the Battlefords region right now, 18 degrees, and winds out of the north at 37. Estevan, the hot spot today at 27 degrees. I believe they're the national hot spot as well. Uranium City, the cold spot at 0. Around the province we go, starting off with the larger communities. It's 18 degrees in Lloydminster, 17 in Swift Current and Moose Jaw and Yorkton, 12 in Regina, 21 in Estevan. Probably cooled off in the Regina region because of some shower activity. Temperatures in the central part of the province range from just a somewhat chilly 7 degrees in Hudson Bay up to 21. That's right here in Saskatoon, but it's 18 in Kindersley and the Battlefords and 19 in Meadow Lake, 13 in Wynyard, 11 in Nipawin. Up north, what do we have? Well, we've got 8 degrees in Collins Bay, but double-digit temperatures everywhere else on this part of our map. 14 degrees in Stony Rapids and Key Lake, but 18 in Buffalo Narrows, 19 in La Ronge. Down south, temperatures are fairly consistent right across the Southland. A lot of places in and around that 17-degree mark. Gets up to 20 in Outlook and Elbow. It cools off at 13. That's in Indian Head. Now on to our futurecast. With the computer modeling indicating that we anticipate the winds to start picking up, and then they'll back off later in the day tomorrow. But as you can see, there's still a possibility of some showers popping up due to daytime heating and some a little bit more activity up in northern areas. There is the area in purple on your screen. That is where the wind warnings are still in effect. We're talking about the potential for wind gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour. So it certainly includes, Regina, Regina and Weyburn and Estevan and Point South. So it is still a serious situation with regard to the wind there. 17 degrees in La Ronge tomorrow, 13 in Stony Rapids, 16 in Buffalo Narrows, 14 for Key Lake. Temperatures of around 23 or 24 degrees for west central Saskatchewan under mainly sunny skies. A similar temperature pattern and sky situation for the southwest and the southeast. Yeah, the same sort of situation. Mainly sunny or sunny skies and temperatures of around 23 or 24 degrees, and just a little bit cooler by about a degree for east central Saskatchewan, though with lots of sunshine, so above seasonal temperatures there as well. Tonight, a chance of a thunderstorm and clearing skies, though, in the Battlefords. Possibility of some showers, too, but just a slight chance. 24 degrees tomorrow, though, with wind gusts up around 40 clicks. 28 on Wednesday, but it's going to be a windy Wednesday. And then the showers, or I should say rain, moves in on Thursday. Friday, some showers and those cool temperatures as well, just single-digit highs on Friday and Saturday. 30% chance of showers, a risk of a thunderstorm and clearing skies in Prince Albert, and then mainly sunny tomorrow. 27 on Wednesday. Wednesday, but then a possibility of showers on Thursday and Friday and really cooling off on Friday. And Saskatoon dropping down to 5 degrees tonight, a risk of a thunderstorm with a chance of showers. 24 degrees tomorrow with mainly sunny skies, wind gusts up around 40 clicks, and 28 on a windy Wednesday, and then we expect some showers on Thursday and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday and Monday it bounces back for the last day of the long weekend. That's always the way it goes. It's showtime! Beetlejuice, the musical, is coming to Saskatchewan. The show that is billed as an edgy and irreverent Broadway smash hit musical comedy is set to hit the stage at the Connexus Arts Centre in Regina January 23rd and 24th. It will then travel up Highway 11 to TCU Place for a run on January 27th to the 25th to the 27th. The musical is based on Tim Burton's beloved musical movie that tells the story of a teen whose life gets a little strange when she meets a recently deceased couple and Beetlejuice, a chaotic and vulgar ghost. Tickets are on sale now. Legendary rock band Journey is embarking on their Final Frontier. They're bringing their Final Frontier tour to SaskTel Centre on September 27th. It's part of the band's farewell tour. They've sold over 48 million albums in the U.S. alone, and their track, Don't Stop Believin', became the top-selling track in iTunes history among songs not released in the 21st century. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 o'clock through Ticketmaster.
You are here to help us through our current scandal.
Click, 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 everywhere.
But I did not.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 stayed in style at the weekend box office. The sequel, starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, brought in another $43 million U.S. across North America. Mortal Kombat 2 debuted in second place with $40 million, while Michael danced its way into third place with $36.5 million in ticket sales.
All right, Jeff, time for Big of the Day. What do you have?
We have a lovely triple hit, as always. We're going to start out with a nice sky shot right now. This comes to us from Cynthia. Now, this picture was taken last week. Hello, Jeff. This was last night's sunset. Just amazing. Since I can't go to the salt flats, a Saskatchewan pond in the field will have to do. Saskatchewan is definitely the land of living skies. Amanda sends us our next photo. She's out in Wilkie, taken on May 9th along the river bank along Spadina in Saskatoon of one of the first set of baby goslings of May. That's a lovely shot there of the goose family. And finally from Jennifer, it's a belated birthday wish. I'd like to wish Jordan Maville a happy 8th birthday filled with love on May the 10th. So yes, that was yesterday, but certainly a happy birthday wish going out there from Mom. And we offer our birthday wishes as well. And if you'd like to send an image to us, you can certainly do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and that will help you get your images to us.
Still to come on CTV News, the magic of music, how one Saskatchewan group is sharing what they hope will be a notable experience. One of the only mariachi bands in Saskatchewan, a group of musicians is sharing their music and their culture. Sierra D'Souza Butts on the release of their very first album.
Luis Alapisco says it took him a year and a half to learn how to play the trumpet.
When we decided to start the mariachi, we were trying to find a trumpet player, someone that knew how to play it, and we couldn't find it. So I went to a pawn shop, bought an old trumpet, and started practicing.
Being part of a mariachi band in Regina has allowed him to share his culture with others, including his son.
Be able to have my kid, because my kid played the violin here, right? So new generations learning about the Mexican music and the importance of mariachi. So that's key. So that makes us feel amazing.
As one of the only mariachi groups in Saskatchewan, the Mariachi Latino Band is sharing their music and Latin culture with people in celebration of releasing their very first album.
We were surprised because when we initially started with this project, we thought it was going to be only for Latino people. And then they invited us to one event. And then we went to that event and people were picking up and they were dancing and singing along and that type of thing.
Going strong for 5 years now, the Mariachi Band first started out in a garage in Regina after Hernandez put out an ad seeing if people wanted to join. Since then, the group of 10 musicians have performed in more than 130 places, playing authentic music with guitars only used for mariachi and outfits directly from Mexico.
One important thing of our music is that it's for everybody. It's not only for Latinos.
Bringing a taste of Latin culture to the prairies and beyond. Sierra D'Souza Buds, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, the Riders get ready for the season, and later a celebration of Ukrainian culture in Saskatoon.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow, and things are looking good north and south of the Yellowhead. Temperatures on the into the low 20s, mid 20s in some locations. But yes, I know I say good news. Some places they don't want these temperatures because of the melting situation. But these are the cards we've been dealt by Mother Nature. So mainly sunny skies, as you can see, temperatures in and around that 22 or 23 degree mark as we make our way towards the eastern side of the province. 21 for Milford and Hudson Bay, 20 for Wynyard. And what about down south? Well, a windy situation tomorrow again, I'm sure. But as you can see, temperatures once again in the low to mid 20s pretty much right across the board. And let's take a closer look and see what's going on in Nacum. I can tell you they got a big homecoming coming up in July, I believe. But yes, Nacum tomorrow. We've got ourselves mainly sunny skies, 20 degrees, but once again a windy day in Nacum. Winds out of the northwest, 30 gusting to 50. Nacum is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Tributes are pouring in for a hockey legend born in Estevan. Ernie Punch McLean led the Estevan Bruins to a WHL championship in 1968 and later the new Westminster Bruins to 4 consecutive Memorial Cup finals. More than 100 players he coached went on to careers in the NHL. On Friday, McLean died in a car crash in northern BC at the age of 93. The Riders are back, and as the team gears up for their first preseason game, the home-ground talent is eager to hit the field for Saskatchewan fans. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
Hometown talent is shining as the Saskatchewan Roughriders prepare to defend their Grey Cup championship for the 2026 football season.
It adds a lot to it, and I think it spreads to the guys that aren't from here, and they really learn to understand how important this fan base is to us and how important this game is to Saskatchewan.
Sunday marked the time for veteran players to join the new faces after their week of rookie camp. For those like Carson Sombach, who were born and raised in Saskatchewan, it's also an opportunity to play alongside the team they've spent a lifetime cheering for.
When you're a little kid, it's like that's like the dream. You put that on a piece of paper for what job you want to have in the future. When you're in kindergarten, you write what job you want. You put Saskatchewan Roughrider, right? So just the fact that is actually happening is just a pretty cool experience.
It's a feeling that fellow Regina Rams alumni Jackson Ford remembers well.
And the nerves are there always. It just means you care, right? So, but yeah, no, that first one was it was a grind because like those 4 days of rookie camp, you get pretty much all those reps, and then when the vets come in, you get 1 day to kind of mellow out and get ready to go, and then the legs are heavy for that first day.
Now in his 4th year with the Riders, Ford says playing for his hometown team is something he never takes for granted.
Being a Sask-grown kid and growing up and understanding the fan base that we have here, it just means that much more to us, and we can just help. We can tell the Americans and stuff about like the culture of Saskatchewan.
Head coach Corey Mace says that local talent makes a big difference both on and off the field.
But to have those guys, from the province of Saskatchewan, you don't have to tell them much to get juiced up or what it means to wear green and white.
For vets like Furland, now in his 6th year with the team he grew up cheering for, this start to the season is something he'll never get tired of.
Never. I don't think it'll ever get old. It feels good to have that support.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The city of North Battleford is getting a federal grant for social services. The city and the Battleford's Family Health Centre were chosen as one of 30 applicants to get emergency treatment funding for the 2026-27 fiscal year. The funding will go toward hiring an alternative response officer, an outreach worker within Battleford's Family Health Centre, a casual driver, 2 vehicles, and funds for client nutrition, supplies, and clothing, as well as training for first responders. The city says this partnership will provide direct support for people with mental health and addictions crises in the community. Toronto's Pearson International Airport is getting a series of renovations that will cost billions of dollars. Morella Fernandez explains.
The initial $3 billion will be used to bring a state-of-the-art lighting control system to the airfield. The 30 kilometers of conveyor belt that handles baggage will also be upgraded. The changes will allow Canada's busiest airport to serve up to 65 million passengers a year. In 2023, it served 45 million passengers. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is slightly up to 73.11. West Texas Intermediate is up to 98.13. Western Canadian Select is up to $75. And the TSX gained 61 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is just over $1.84 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.75.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco jumped $4.56. And Nutrien finished the day at $97.54. Coming up, Ukrainian culture takes center stage in Saskatoon. Then the festival that drew hundreds in Slovenia.
Hey there, it's Derek Chesney here at the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. This week on Crime Stoppers Unmasked, we're asking for the public's help in locating a wanted, prolific liquor shoplifter. Hindolo Lawrence Sandy, 37 years of age, is wanted for breaching numerous of his court-ordered conditions. As well, he is also a suspect in numerous recent liquor store thefts here in the city. Sandy is described as a black male, 5'6", 170 pounds, with short curly black hair. He is currently at no fixed address, and Crime Stoppers is looking for information on the whereabouts of him to pass on to police so he can be taken into custody. Do you have information about this wanted suspect or know where Hindolo Sandy can be located? If so, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477, or you can leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimeStoppers.com. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest. Tips are completely anonymous. We don't want your name, we just want your assistance. Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. Do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, it was another successful celebration for Saskatoon's Ukrainian community over the weekend. Hundreds gathered at TC Place on Saturday for Vesna Festival. The 52nd running of the annual spring celebration had no shortage of entertainment with dancing, music, and of course, great food for the event. There was even a proposal after one of the dances. And in case you are wondering, she did say yes. So congratulations to everyone who had a hand in organizing and attending another Vesna and to the happy couple. Keenan Sorkon was on hand emceeing.
Yes, he was.
As well. So
doing a fine job is what I understand.
A great night for sure.
Great tradition, 52 years. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. All right, a notable afternoon in Slovenia yesterday. 450 accordion players performed Slovenian folk favorites along the banks of a picturesque mountain lake during the country's annual accordion festival. Aside from a pause during the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival has been held every year since 2013. We were talking about this earlier. That's a lot of talent and coordination to be an
It is like
player.
the keyboard is one thing, but what always fascinates me is the whole side with the buttons.
Yes.
And there's a lot of buttons.
There are. Did you see that little guy in the
Yes,
front?
I did.
So
Yeah,
he's
getting ready.
He's going to be great someday.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be Frankie Yankovic of Slovenia.
Yes.
Okay.
That.
Okay.
We'll check in a few years with them, right?
Okay, all right. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on for our temperatures tomorrow. Well, it's going to be a sunny start to the day, 14 degrees at 9 a.m. The wind starts to pick up, though, and as we roll into the afternoon, warm temperatures, but a bit on the breezy side.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.